Almost 2 years ago, I modded my version of the ultimate Dreamcast. And some of you are upset that I used my RetroTink 5X Pro instead of installing an HDMI mod. Well, I spent a lot of money on the RetroTink, and back then, it would have cost me over $100 to get an internal HDMI mod for my Dreamcast. Plus, it was just easier to not do all that soldering and get the same results. But now, High-Speed Edo's come out with another budget HDMI mod, just like the one they have for the N64, and it has the same $40 price tag. While it is much cheaper than the arguably better HDMI mods out there, it's still just as difficult to install. You're gonna have to completely disassemble your Dreamcast. Thankfully, all the screws are Phillips, and only these two for the fan require a smaller size bit. Then you're gonna have to cut a hole into your shell for the mini HDMI port, break this chunk off the bottom shielding, and stick the new board down here. After that is the hard part. You'll need to solder many parts of this ribbon cable to the motherboard, which requires a bit of micro soldering. It's not so small that I needed the microscope, but it's still not the easiest. There are also a couple wires you need to solder around back that you won't want to forget. But once you've done that, it's as simple as plugging the ribbon cable into the new board and reassembling the Dreamcast. Simple enough, right? Actually, yeah, this time it was just that simple for me. It's still a pretty hard mod, all things considered. However, it only took me about an hour to get it all done while recording and doing a tutorial on it. But I did also just do the non-budget HDMI mod for another video you'll see in a few weeks. Pretty soon you'll understand why this video is coming first. But I am very thankful that I did both of these around the same time, because now we can compare the output of the budget HDMI mod to the more expensive one, as well as regular AV versus the RetroTink 5X Pro. But before we get to that, I will mention that there is a real full tutorial available now on the second channel, Jake64, if you want to follow along with that while you're installing it, or just learn a lot more about the installation process, because it definitely takes a lot longer than 2 paragraphs of a script to do this. The tutorial video will be linked down below, as well as at the end in the cards. But before we compare those 4 outputs here, I want to start with talking about the settings that are available when you press and hold start A and B. You have 3 aspect ratios, 4:3, 16:9, and other 16:9. There are also some other settings like brightness, contrast, saturation, and of course it wouldn't be a high-speed Edo mod without the different color palette options. There are no other settings, and it will always output a 720p signal. It's actually 1080p, but it doesn't look nearly as sharp, so I just assumed it was 720p. It feels more like 720p that's stretched to 1080 though, which is fine for a $40 mod that looks so much better than regular old AV. But once you throw the RetroTink and the more expensive HDMI mod into the mix, it's a little harder to choose a winner. They all look great, and obviously the more expensive HDMI mod is going to look better than the budget one. They're both 1080p, but the budget one isn't as crisp and has less features and settings. But the RetroTink will also do it at 1080p with even more features and settings without all the soldering and drilling. But the point of this mod is that it's a budget mod, and I think this mod is amazing for $40. I don't think the more expensive HDMI mod is worth over double the price compared to this one. However, if you're wanting to stream or record gameplay with this mod, I'm getting the same audio issues while recording with my Elgato HD60S that I get with High-Speed Edo's N64 HDMI mod. I don't know if this happens with all capture cards or just Elgato capture cards, but I can say that this sounds great just plugged straight into the TV. That is quite literally the only real problem I have with this mod. Of course, I wish it was a little sharper, but for $40, I really can't complain. And like with the budget HDMI mod for the N64, I'm tempted to sell these on my website, retroremaster.com, with new shells and GDEMUs, of course. But I'm not sure if there's enough interest in that, so let me know if you want me to start selling modded Dreamcasts. And just in general, I'd love to know what you guys think about this mod, and which output you think looks the best. The comment section is your oyster. But that's about it, so like, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one. Later, guys. Honestly, I'm still just going to use the RetroTink since I do think it looks better. Either way, it's not like my Dreamcast is going to do anything other than collect dust.